Historically, Sweden was one of the most welcoming nations for refugees, but this norm is slowly shifting due to increased xenophobia. Although the Swedes continue to perceive themselves as an open and tolerant society, recent attacks and discriminatory rhetoric towards Muslims and immigrants reveals structural racism. Muslims are often viewed negatively. Many Swedes view Islamic and European values as incompatible, a sentiment prominent in other parts of Europe too. In 2014, 35% of Swedes saw Islam as a threat, while one half believed it is incompatible with the Western world. More recently, in 2015, 41% said the country granted too many asylum requests. Even more recently, in 2016, 35% saw Muslims in a negative light. 57% feared refugees compromise national security, and 32% indicated that they would take jobs and social benefits. Hate crimes against Muslims are on the rise in contemporary Sweden. For instance, in 2013, there were approximately 300 reported anti-Muslim hate crimes. While between 2010 and 2014, anti-Muslim attacks in Sweden increased by 81%. However, hate crimes remain underreported for a variety of reasons, including persistent skepticism that authorities will not pursue appropriate action. Significantly, most hate crimes target women who are conspicuously Muslims, that is, practicing hijab. Anti-Muslim bias offenses also targeted communal property such as mosques. In fact, in 2016, 66% of mosques were subject to vandalism, arson, or bomb threats, a 26% increase from 2011 when approximately 40% of mosques suffered such attacks. During a one-month period immediately prior to the 2015 attack against Charlie Hebdo, a number of Swedish mosques were targeted in a series of highly publicized hate crimes. The violence has resulted in dozens of Swedish Muslims sustaining injuries. Mosques and Muslim prayer facilities throughout Sweden have also faced violence that has Islamophobic motivation. They have been vandalized or have been subject to arson, and these attacks are ongoing trend. More domestically, issues relating to the burning of mosques, the burning of refugee camps, and the school attacks in Trollhättan in October 2015 show direct or indirect connections to racism and Islamophobia. In January 2017 alone, the Gothenburg mosque received a bomb threat. A mosque in Uppsala was attacked with a firebomb. A mosque in the small town of Jorva was threatened by mail, including pornographic images, and a masjid in Marastad was attacked with canned pork. In a most recent attack on mosque on May 1, 2017, Sweden's largest Shia mosque has been partially destroyed by fire in what police are treating as an arson attack. Such attacks have been increasing, including 112 fires last year. Most of them were arsons. Discrimination in the job and labor market has also been researched in Sweden for some time. Research has indicated that employers tend to refrain from hiring those who are perceived to be non-Europeans or Muslims. Moreover, according to mandatory directives by the National Education Agency as issued in 2003, schools are allowed to prohibit the burqa and niqab, provided that they do so in a spirit of dialogues on the common values of equality of the sex and respect for the democratic principles. Researchers found an explicit and implicit prejudice towards Muslims men. Their studies concluded that 49% of employers have explicit and 94% had implicit prejudice towards Muslim men. These prejudices are believed to have an impact upon employers' decision to hire. A politically significant development is the right-wing populist Sweden Democrats becoming the third largest party in Sweden since 2014, winning almost 13% of the votes and 30 new parliamentary seats. Despite having anti-immigrant policies, often with a significant anti-Islam and Muslim focus as their foremost agenda, the party has denied accusations of racism or xenophobia. However, history of Sweden Democrats and its prominent members reveals incidents of clear racism and discriminatory contents, and some less explicit but nonetheless suspicious activities. One of the examples includes when the party secretary stated, "Just like Nazism was overturned, so does Islam needs to be overturned." During 2015, the Sweden Democrats spokespersons also confirmed that the party stood behind flyers that were handed out on the Greek island of Lesbos, discouraging refugees to make their way to Sweden. Contrary to its claims, the attacks on burqa, niqab, halal slaughter, polygamy and forced marriages speak volumes about the party's plan for democratic policies in Sweden. Given the present levels of globalization, Sweden, like other countries, is not an exempt from the impact of foreign events. The civil wars in Syria and Iraq, the ongoing refugees crisis, the attacks on Charlie Hebdo, and the Paris attacks are directly or indirectly related to Islam and Muslims. On the other hand, Swedish media is not leaving any stone unturned to insult the injuries. The studies showed that minority ethnicities are presented in Swedish media quite negatively. Muslims in particular face serious negative representations as the other and are described with stereotypes often connected to violent behavior. Islamophobic contents can also be seen on internet, web pages and social media. According to scholars, internet and social media have had a hand in spreading and accelerating prejudice towards Muslims and Islam. The Living History Forum, a Swedish government body that works on discrimination, tolerance and human rights, writes that perhaps the biggest problem when it comes to spreading anti-Semitism and anti-Islam happens through internet and social media. According to the forum, the Islamophobic contents found on online pages often present stereotypes as facts. Some studies have found that the contents on such websites present a picture of war-like struggle between Islam and Sweden. Blogs often frame racist or xenophobic standpoints as a question of freedom of speech and a critique against religious extremism. The mapping of anti-Muslim, anti-Islam sentiment in cyberspace has been less direct, focusing more on racism and xenophobia in general. Dear viewers, the terror attacks have been used as a catalyst to spread hate and as a source of collective blame on Muslims. As example is the spreading of Facebook comment supposedly celebrating the Charlie Hebdo attack by Muslims, calling for an end of all public Islamic practices in Sweden, saying that Islam is a direct threat to Sweden. A popular blog wonders if the time has come to close all avenues for Muslims to organize themselves, including shutting down mosques and ending any financial aid to Muslim organizations. Facebook and other social media outlets have also been part of spreading Islamophobia. An example is a fake video of Muslims celebrating the attacks in Paris that was spread on social media. While the video was, in fact, that the Pakistani fans celebrating a victory in cricket.